Today's Spotlight is brought to you by the following sponsors. And welcome back to Spotlight. I'm Jane Wernette, and our final guest today is the Education Center. I'd like to introduce and welcome Dr. Michael Litto, who is the founder and executive director. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Mike Tegg is a board member.
Thank you.
And Marie DiBartolo is a parent of a former student. Well, you guys, you have a very big year this year because it's your 35th anniversary, 35 years since you founded the center. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about what motivated you to found the Education Center?
Well, we started in 1979, and at that time I was an assistant principal in Chicago, and the dropout rate was hovering around 50%. And also I knew that many teachers are frustrated because they don't have enough time to really give the individual attention that most kids need. So we felt that if we could open up a center that would give extra special attention, mentoring, counseling, working with families, working with social, emotional issues, it can make all the difference in the world. And we found out that to be the case, and here we are 35 years later.
It's an amazing story. And give me your motto, because I know your motto, but why don't you tell the viewers your motto?
Some people find a way, others find an excuse.
Yes.
Don't find an excuse, find a way.
Find a way. I love it. Marie, you had a child. You came to the Education Center about 10 years ago when your son was in 8th grade.
Yes.
Tell us about where he is today.
Okay, well, I just want to say he had a lot of excuses 10 years ago, and he went to the Education Center and learned to take responsibility for his own choices and enjoy doing it, and found, I think, his inner soul. Instead of people telling him no, 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 he started saying, yes, I can do things, I just have to do them a little differently. So here we are 10 years later now, and he is the boy who hated school as a high school teacher. He started his first teaching position 2 weeks ago in Des Moines, Iowa, and he's teaching high school Spanish and loving every minute of it. I get a daily report. It's great.
So rewarding, right? And it must feel so good to you. I mean, those kinds of success stories are incredible.
Well, that's what it's all about. When someone, when they're growing up, they had some struggles and challenges, but they've overcome, and the transformation is phenomenal. I'm so proud of her son.
Pupil becomes the teacher. That's really nice.
Yeah, I think also parents, we all look ahead and think, where is our child going to be in 10 years? And believe me, I thought that many times with him, and it's so wonderful to think we came out on the other side in this beautiful place. And to have this resource center community is phenomenal, and I couldn't speak more highly of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mike, tell us, because you've been in the community a long time, you're a busy businessman, what drew you to want to be on the board at the Education Center?
Actually, Mike drew me in. Never necessarily wanted to be on the board, but when you meet Mike, he has a way. I met Mike about 8 years ago, donating items for his dinner for the silent auction.
Okay.
And about 5 years ago, we started promoting the Education Center through work. First 10 minutes I met Mike, I fell in love with him. It's hard not to. A year went by after that relationship, and they invited me to be on the board, and it's been great ever since. It's not like work. You think being on a board would be work, but when we meet together and get things done, it doesn't seem like work, does it?
No.
Now, you have a unique approach. Talk a little bit about that, because it involves not just the child that's going through the process, but it involves the family. Talk a little bit about that,
Well, the
Mike.
family is always involved. I mean, if parents are part of the problem, they're part of the solution. So everybody must actively participate. I mean, we don't allow parents to just drop their kids off and say, fix him, fix her, and let me know when they're ready and we'll pick them up. No, everybody is part of the process. Our mission has always been, and still is, to help kids succeed not only in school but in life. And we do that through a unique individual coaching program. Many of the kids that we work with are considered underachievers and they're struggling. But not only do we help them be more successful in school, but we get them to take ownership and responsibility for not only their academic performance, but every aspect of their life. And we stress heavily life skills, making good decisions and choices, exercising good judgment, problem solving. And we build up their self-confidence to the point where they're empowered that if things don't go well or don't go the way they expect, they don't throw up their hands, they roll up their sleeves and they find a way and not an excuse. They make changes, not excuses.
And that was your experience with your son?
100%, 100%. And if he can make it to our 35th anniversary banquet that's coming up next month, I think he'd be happy to get up at the podium and tell you all that. He knows exactly what happened with him.
That's great. So tell us a little bit about, you've got, big exciting plans. It's 35th anniversary, the Kids Best Friend Benefit. Talk to us a little bit
Sure.
about that.
October 17th, we're having at the Naperville Lyle Hilton.
Great.
It's a great event. We have annually, a lot of people show up. We're going to be honoring 3 people that Mike can talk about. And it's funny how, just to expound on what Mike said about holding parents and kids accountable, he holds the board members accountable as well. And we'll have board meetings and we'll talk about some of our businesses, and Mike will bring up kids that he has that want to get into the community or get a job. And we'll say, sure, we can interview them. And you kind of forget about it. And 2 weeks later, Mike brings the kid to your doorstep and you're interviewing him. And we've hired a few. We've put some to work. We've coached and interviewing with Mike's help, and he does. He holds everybody accountable, so it's great.
It's good, and lots of ways to get people involved with that.
Well, that's
you
it.
know.
It's getting the community involved. Everybody gets involved, right?
Absolutely, takes a village. Tell us who you're honoring at your dinner.
Well, we're honoring Bracconi's Pizza at our Business Leadership Award. We're also honoring George and Pat Pradle, Mayor Pradle and his wife, for all the great things that they've done in this community on behalf of children and for the Naperville community. And we're also, our kid's best friend, our major award is going to a gentleman named Tom Myers, who, the show is not long enough for me to begin to tell you all his accomplishments.
But you're going to tell us on the night, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's terrific. So if there was just kind of one last thing as far as getting involved, and you talked about it, getting involved in mentoring and from a business, anybody can volunteer. How else might the community get involved with the Education Center?
Well, if they want additional information and want to know how they can get involved, or they're looking for services, they can look at visit our website, which is www.theeducationcenter.org.
Terrific. Well, listen, we wish you all the best for the Kid's Best Friend. I know it's going to be a terrific event. Clearly, we've got wonderful stories of lives that have been transformed, and that's what it's really all about. So I want to thank you guys for being with us today, and everybody show up. It's Friday, October 17th at 5:30 at the Hilton Lyle. And we'll be right back after this short break.
Thank you, Jane.